Crying is an easy topic to discuss. All you need to know is why are they doing it and how do I make it stop? And once you know why they're doing it, then it's easy to know how to make it stop. If a baby's crying because they're wet, you change their diaper. If it's a poopy diaper, you change that one too. If they're crying because you're hungry, you feed them. If they're just bored, you pick them up and move them to a different spot, or put them in that snuggly or that carrier and take them with you so they have a different view of the world. Babies cry for lots of different reasons, and frequently you can figure out why they're crying. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you exhaust your list of strategies for making them stop. And despite every effort, the crying continues. They're refusing the breast, so they're not hungry. You've burped them well and nothing else is coming out. You've changed their diaper, you've changed their position, you've picked them up, you've put them down. And despite all of your best efforts, that crying continues. So first of all, parents need to understand that some babies cry for reasons that we can't figure out, but ultimately the crying stops. The hard part is when it continues to the point where it pushes a mom beyond her ability to cope. And I always use the example with the moms and dads that I've had the privilege of working with, that I don't care how good a mom or dad you are, I don't care how conscientious you parent your child, there will be a day when the UPS man will come to your door and you will want to give him your child and take his package because you have been pushed to the limit of your ability to cope. And that's okay to be pushed to that limit. But what makes you a wonderful parent is that you know when you get there. And therefore you put your child in a safe place, a crib, a cradle, a playpen, can be a cardboard box on the floor. It doesn't really matter where it is, but you put them in a safe place where nothing will happen to them, and then you remove yourself from the room. I used to get in the shower or in the tub, fix myself a cup of hot tea, walk out and get the mail. At one point, I even started up the lawnmower so that I could cut a swatch of grass and not hear Matthew crying in the background. Once you have regained your composure, then you're ready to face that crying baby again. 9 times out of 10, the baby has calmed themselves while you've been calming yourself. But the important lesson is that never has a baby cried themselves to death. But on occasion, we see babies shaken to death and beaten to death. So it's important to know that that's always that remote possibility, even with the best of moms and dads. So if you're reaching that limit, separate yourself, keep your baby safe, regroup, come back later. And the baby will usually be delighted to see you.
I think the challenges of breastfeeding and the success and the downfalls of it would definitely be if you're trying to soothe your child and you get anxious, because that was my problem at first, is I'd get really anxious if he's crying and I tried to get him to latch, then he wouldn't latch, then both of our anxiety was too high for him to even nurse. But I think definitely successful breastfeeding is if you can stay calm when they're upset, just so they know that it's going to be a peaceful time, they can eat. And that was really the time that I knew I was being successful, is if he was crying but I could still stay calm so he could relax himself.